Hey everybody, and welcome back to some more Frostpunk. We're currently on day 7, it's negative 30 degrees Celsius, and I think for the most part, things are looking pretty good. We have got almost 700 coal, about 5 days worth of coal stored up in our coal reserves. We're a little light on wood, 39 wood, definitely not great, especially considering that a lot of the new buildings that we would like to build and a lot of the new pieces of research that we still have to unlock do require quite a large amount of wood collectively. But for the most part, that's fine. We did start with our new sawmill in the last episode, so we are starting to slowly but surely increase our wood production. Steel is doing perfectly fine for this point in the game. 154 steel, I think, is more than enough for where we're at right now. Again, most of the stuff that we're building doesn't really require any kind of steel. It's mostly just wood at this moment in time, and so that's fine. Food, on the other hand, is a different story entirely. Right now, we have 0 raw food, and we have just 19 food rations, which, as you can see from the very helpful tooltip, is less than 1 day's worth of food rations remaining. And so I'm hoping that changes. We do now have 2 hunters' huts. We built a new one at the end of the last episode. These guys do work in the evening, so you'll see their work time is 6 p.m. till 6 a.m. And so we're not going to get any more food until early tomorrow morning. And so it is quite possible, if not likely, that the number of hungry people, which currently is 2, increases before we get more food, which is fine. Not great, discontent will rise a little bit, but I think for the most part, it's something that we can work through. Now, our current objective is to keep homes warm for another 1 day and 7 hours, so I'll hit play here. That does mean, of course, that we do have to keep the generator on for the next 31 hours, but once that is done, we could then contemplate turning it off, which may or may not be a good idea. People in the comment section did point out that right now we have 25 people, which is more than a quarter of our workforce, ill. So many of our people are ill due to the fact that we've been a little bit stingy with the generator thus far. Like, our generator has not been on much at all, and so it might not be a terrible idea for us to maybe look at being a little bit more liberal with our use of the generator, and maybe turning things like the heaters at work on, especially for stuff like this sawmill here, which, as you can see, is already chilly. Chilly is kind of the point where there's a low risk of getting ill, but there is still a risk of getting ill. As you can see, like, I don't think we've really had that many of our buildings in, like, the really cold zone. We do have some steel wreckages here, but everyone should be working out of the gathering post, I think, for the most part, so that shouldn't be too much of an issue. But my point, this one is cold. We definitely want heating here, but there's 15 people working here, and this one is cold, so there's, like, a likely risk of people getting ill there. But my point was going to be that even though the risk is low in chilly locations, we still have quite a few people ill despite that. So I think I will go ahead and turn a few of these workplaces on. The cookhouse, it feels like it's just ethical to turn that on. We do have children exclusively working in the cookhouse, so turning the heater on there seems like the right thing to do. Out here at the gathering post, we'll turn this on as well. It is going to start to chew through our coal quite a bit. Each one of those does use 1 coal per hour while there are people working in it, and so that is definitely something to bear in mind if our coal reserves start to get a little low. But for now, let's have a look at the technology tree. We have now unlocked drawing boards, so we have all of these second lines of research available to unlock. A coal mine might not be a terrible idea. We are doing okay on coal right now, and we do still have a few little patches of coal scattered around the map that we could assign people to work to if needs be. We should, obviously, wherever possible, use gathering posts, but the point being that we do still have quite a large amount of coal available to just go and collect manually, and so that might not be too necessary just yet. A sawmill upgrade might not be too bad, allows us to introduce workplace improvements that will raise the efficiency of all sawmills and steam sawmills by 25%. There's also the wall drill. The wall drill drills into the walls of our crater, uncovering trees that formed the forest before the ice engulfed them, providing up to 160 wood per standard workday, which is over double the amount of wood that the default sawmill produces. And so this might not be a terrible idea. It does require a steam core, of which we only have 1 right now, and so that does make it rather expensive, but I'm going to keep my eye on that. I might come back to that in a second. A hothouse is also maybe not a terrible idea. This allows us to grow food locally, so we can actually start to grow our food as opposed to relying on our hunters to bring back food all the time. At the same time, we could go with hunter's gear here, which, thanks to better snowshoes and enhanced camouflage, hunters setting out from the hunter's hut will return with more raw food from each hut, up to 20 raw food per hunt. That's pretty good. Bunkhouses could also be useful. Those are going to allow us to keep our people, you know, warmer without turning the heater on. And then more scouts could also be useful. That does remind me that we do have to get that beacon down really ASAP so we can start sending scouts out to explore for basically anything around us. We can find all kinds of stuff, more people, more resources, more ways of getting more resources. So the scouts are of vital importance, and I think it's also kind of our main quest right now. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with hunter's gear, simply due to the fact that the biggest problem we're facing right now, I think, is food. If we look at our economy here, you'll see that coal, we are losing at a staggering rate, negative 174 coal per day. But the reasons for that are that we're using the generator all day, every day because of a quest, and also right now we don't have any people working on getting coal, but that can all change if things get dire. Wood is looking okay. We're still gaining wood, which is good. Steel is the same story. Food is the only thing right now that we're not actively gaining on, that we really need to be gaining on, right? It's the one resource that we actively need to keep people happy that we currently don't have. So we'll get that going. It's a nice quick research, and so should be done fairly soon anyway, at which point I might look at getting that wall drill just so we can build more things faster. Speaking of building stuff, now that the work day is over, let's go ahead and throw this beacon down, shall we? Now, once again, I don't think the beacon has to go anywhere near the generator, right? I think we can fairly safely put this further away. I would, of course, still like it to be attached to a road, but I'm going to put it like all the way out here, just because this is not going to have anybody working at it, right? People are going to go to the beacon, and the people who quote-unquote work at the beacon are going to be the people who are out, you know, exploring. They're going to be the scouts. So I don't think this needs to be warm. All right, nice little cutscene there for the beacon. So we have the observatory and we have the lost expedition. So these are the people that were supposed to come with us to this generator, but we lost along the way. So we're going to go and find those guys. Now, right now, we do not have anybody assigned to our beacon, which is why I believe we cannot send anybody out just yet. We need 5 free workers. I'm going to take 5 people off of steel. And in fact, I kind of want to just take everybody off steel right now because I don't want anybody working in this cold condition. That is just a recipe for getting ill. Right now we still have, we've just depleted a little bit of steel over here. So actually right now we're not getting any steel at all. We could put another resource depot here, although there's only 8 steel left. And so you know what, I'm just gonna leave like 5 people there. I'm gonna assign 5 people here to make a new scout unit, and we'll send those guys out over to the Lost Expedition. On your way. How long is that gonna take? That's gonna take 10 hours. Okay, that's not too bad. So what needs to be done now? People are hungry. To be expected, you know, we don't have any food. That should resolve in like an hour when the hunters get back. Hopefully, they bring a nice amount back. Ready to search. People cheer as the giant observation balloon soars over the city. This is a real feat. Everyone feels proud with the work they've done to make it happen. Volunteers have lined up, eager to look out for our lost people in Frostland. The woman who came forward earlier is among them. We need a win. Hope is rising. Discontent is falling. People are out searching. This is all good. There was a piece of research that would allow us to have like another scout team go out. That also might not be a terrible idea. For now, we don't have any spare engineers, which is a little awkward. We also don't have enough engineers in our medical posts for maximum efficiency, which is also not great because we do still have 15 people ill, which again doesn't really seem like that many, but is still quite a sizable percentage of our overall workforce. So could definitely do with assigning more engineers here, but for now I do think it's more important to have those engineers working on researching new technologies for us. Food has arrived, although the amount of food that has arrived is very low. Let me check the economy here real quick and see if that's changed at all. It's not. So we're gaining 60 rations per day and we're consuming 78. So we are still 18 food rations per day down. And so I think that should change once our hunter's gear is taken care of, at which point we might see a slight increase in productivity, hopefully enough to kind of take us over that line. But I do have a feeling that at that point, we might then find these people who are a few hours away as part of this lost expedition and then have to feed them as well. But the research is complete. So does that change our economy? It does. So right now, we're just ever so slightly producing enough food, which is good. We are about to see another drop, presumably to -50, if the pattern from the previous days is to continue. That's fine. Let's take another look at the tech tree here. It might be worth waiting 2 hours just to see if we do get more people, because if we get more people, we might like almost certainly have to get the hothouse. At the same time, those 2 hours could be spent doing a little bit of research. More scouts could definitely be useful. I think the scouts are easy to underestimate, but I think they can get us a lot of good stuff. I'm gonna go for the wall drill. My thinking here is that if we want to keep completing research at such a fast pace, if we want to be like as efficient as we can be with the research, we need a lot of wood. Like every single bit of research requires at least wood, if not, steel and other bits on top of that. And so I think having excess wood for buildings, but also for expanding our research more rapidly is really the way to go. I think the moment when we start to slow down our research and start to prioritize other things is when we kind of lock ourselves in. Like as soon as you run out of the ability to advance forward, then the game's kind of closing in on you, right? We need to be able to constantly keep making things better through unlocking new research to make sure that we can stay ahead of the cold. That's my philosophy anyway. So we're only 15 minutes now away from this expedition. Let's go take a look at these guys. Go ahead and explore the Lost Expedition. A happy reunion. We enter the camp appearing out of the driving snow. A choir of excited voices welcomes us. Thank God you found us. We have been wandering for days until we couldn't go on any longer. Soon we begin to starve. Children and adults around us, packed up, ready to go. We've discovered 2 more sites, the Gloomy Cave and the Sturdy Shelter. So we can either escort them back or we can send them back alone. If we escort them back, they'll be back quickly and safely. If we send them back alone, it will take longer and some of them may die. So 10 of them are workers, 22 of them are workers, 10 of them are engineers, and 4 of them are children. We'll escort them back. It's not that far of a trip. It's only 5 hours, and the scouts do move faster through paths that they've already been through. So it took them 10 hours to get here, but because they've already moved the snow and whatnot, it only takes them 5 hours to get back. So they should be back before the end of the day, which is fantastic, at which point we can then send them out to one of these guys. We might check out the Sturdy Shelter. Of all 3 of these, that seems like the one that's most likely to have more resources. The observatory could as well. The Gloomy Cave, I don't know, that could also have some stuff in it, but, maybe not steel or wood or things that we might need like right now. Although food, I guess, would also be quite useful at this point. And that also does kind of cement our next bit of research as being a hothouse. We could, again, build yet another hunter's hut. But I don't really think that's the way we want to go about this. I think getting the hothouse down and having a source of food that doesn't rely on our hunters would be a nice bit of diversification for us. We do have 5 people currently not doing anything, and so I think what I will do is set up a new gathering post over here so we can start gathering this kind of excess coal. Not that we really need coal just yet. We are still at 468 total, so that's enough to last us at least a couple of days, but I just think in general, we don't want to waste our manpower, and it never hurts to have a little bit of extra coal anyway, so we'll go ahead and speed up time. We do have a new little bubble here. People are hungry. Captain, some of our people are here to talk about the lack of food. They've been hungry for days now, and they feel that soon they may begin to starve. They want you to do something. Let's feed them. Let's feed them and stockpile some food, or I won't address this right away. You'll have 3 days to feed everybody. You'll have 3 days to feed everybody and stockpile 37 food rations, or I won't address this right away. We do have, right now, at the bottom here, extremely low discontent. And so we could quite easily get away with not addressing this right now, especially given that, but then again, there's no reason not to feed them, I don't think. Like, the plan is to feed everybody. Right now, we are making excess food. We're not going to be making excess food when the scouts get back, which could be the big caveat to this, but I think within the next 3 days, I do want to have everybody fed. So I will say, let's feed them. Everybody will be fed within the next 3 days. It's day 8, we've got 3 days to feed everybody, that's fine. We've only got 2 hours left on the old heating front. So get used to the warmth while you can, guys, because it's going to get cold soon. I'm surprised that these are chilly. Oh, they're chilly because no one's working in them, of course. I was like, why are they? We've turned these on. These don't use coal when no one's there, thankfully. So you don't have to, like, micromanage them by turning them on and off all of the time, twice a day. This is under construction. Hopefully, we'll get done anytime now. Our influx of people are here, which is both good and bad. It's good because, we brought everybody back together, and we also now have more workers to get everything done, including the children as well. It's heartwarming to see families reunited after so many hardships, but shouldn't there be other settlements nearby? The first expedition left London long ago. They ought to be well established by now. They'll surely help us find our footing. We will look for others. Of course. Speaking of others, let's go to this study shelter. I think it is like the furthest away. But I think that's fine. 22 hours. All right. Back at base, let's pause real quick because we do now have 36 homeless people. And I would very much so like to get houses down for these people. Now, unfortunately, the people that we build houses for now are going to be on the outer edge of the generator. And by that, I mean they're going to be like, you know, not able to get a benefit from the heat of the generator because the generator range currently doesn't go to this kind of second ring, but that's fine. We do need to make sure that they have a path, which is also fine. We'll do something like that. And now if we look at our economy again, you'll see that we're now down to only producing 80 a day when we need 111 per day to actually get everything going. Okay, we will search for others, never fear. I'm going to assign another person to the workshop. I'm also, for now, going to assign people... Hey, the promise was fulfilled. Nice. Hope rises. Good stuff. That's the heating promise. So now we don't have to keep the generator on. We can turn the generator off if we so wish. I'm going to leave it on overnight, but I'll probably turn it off during the day and just rely on the individual heated workplaces for now. But we can always reevaluate that later on down the line. I'm probably not going to keep our engineers on the medical post for too long. We might build like another workshop fairly soon here. Actually, I'm going to build one now. So I think, again, I really want to focus in on getting kind of as much research done as quickly as possible. I think research is our key to not dying out here. So we'll continue this path round, connect all that up, and we'll assign some more engineers over there. We do have quite a few of them waiting for a job now, so that is all good. And then we do need to find jobs for everybody else. Like right now, there's quite a few people, 27, who are not doing anything. I guess another hunter's hut wouldn't be a terrible idea, given how low on food we are. I was going to say I might get another scout group going. Like our next piece of research might be getting that second scout team. As soon as this is done, this bit of research, we will have the ability to build that wall drill. So we're going to assign people to that as well, start bringing in even more wood. Because again, that is kind of going to be our bottleneck here. We're very low on wood again. But let's speed things up. People are hungry. That's fine. The number of people ill is falling drastically, which I'm very happy about. Most likely due to the fact that we've kept the generator on for like nearly 3 whole days now. Ooh, that's a lot of discontent. People are hungry, overcrowded medical facilities. Okay, yeah, there are a lot of people hungry, and there are 3 people starving. But food is here. Food has arrived. I don't think people are going to eat this early, but we have food. And yeah, I guess it probably makes a lot more sense for us to research the hothouse next. The hothouse also requires a steam core, eh? That changes things a little bit, because right now we do not have that many steam cores. We got 1. And so you know what? I'm going to build another hunter's hut. Probably not the best time to have done it. And again, these can go quite far away, so I'm going to build them like out here. And we've got a lot of people. Although, each of our hunter's hut is bringing in 40 food per day. So I think, obviously putting down this third one, that's going to take us up to 120. So that should be enough if we just assign another 15 people to work at that hunter's hut. In the research tree then, what do we want to do next? We could do like generator range to encompass those new people that we've just unlocked. I don't necessarily think that's worth it. Bunkhouses could also be really useful. They do need a lot of steel. And so that's kind of pushing me towards maybe doing steelworks. Extracts iron ore from deep deposits and allows us to process it to deliver 40 steel per standard workday. Sure, let's give it a go. It only requires wood to build. And while we're not low on steel now, if we do want to build bunkhouses, we're going to have to get a lot more steel going forward. The plan, obviously, is to turn the generator off when it's like cold like this. I'm going to turn the generator off right now. Discontent is going to rise, and people might get a little sick. But the idea is, these are still livable, that's fine. The idea here, I'll also turn the heating on here because that one's very cold. But the idea right now is that it's going to get colder in a day. And I would very much like to turn the heater on then to keep people happy as opposed to using it right now. Especially when we, feasibly could, well, 17 days is without the generator being turned on. If we turn the generator on, suddenly that number goes down, to just a few days. And we could feasibly run out of coal if we're not fast enough. So let's go ahead and assign 15 people to the Hunter's Hut. If we hit play, that should bump our amount of food up to 120. It does, good stuff. Now, no one's starving. There are just a few people who are hungry. That is fine. And then under resources, let's get a wall drill going. Look at this thing. It's massive. Let's also build a path over there as well. It does require a steam core, which is what it's going to tell me right now, but that is fine. We'll run a path all the way out there. 18 wood. We have just used our first steam core. Steam cores are a necessary component in advanced technology. We can't manufacture steam cores in the city, so let's hope that our scouts find them during their expeditions. I see. I kind of thought we could make them, like when we get a factory. I know we can't make them just yet, but I thought we could make them later on down the line. Maybe I'm wrong though. Let me know in the comments if you know that we can or can't. Steelworks is researched. That is good. So let's go ahead and throw one of these down as well. These need to go down in specific locations next to deposits of iron. So we'll put one here and then maybe put one down right next to it as well. We could always do that to get more steel. Not that I necessarily think that we need it just yet. And for now, we'll do this. That's also fine. It is a lot of wood, but again, we should be getting significantly more wood fairly soon here. This one's producing 8 per hour, and then this one produces double that, so 16 per hour. So we should really start to, crank up our wood production fairly soon here. We have reached our destination. Let's go take a look, shall we? The sturdy shelter. There's wood, there's food rations, and there's steam cores. Good, 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 good. The trail leads to another city. Site discovered, steel bridge. All right. Take resources, 209 wood, 99 food, and 1 core. Nice. We don't get those until we head back. We could head back in 11 hours, or we could head forward. I think we'll head forward. Maybe have them go like in a circle. Go from here to here to here to here. Looking at that, that's obviously not a circle. It's more of like a quadrilateral, but you get the idea. Yeah, we'll send them over to the steel bridge. Hopefully bring back yet more resources to help us on our ever continuing quest to survive. Speaking of our ever continuing quest to survive, research. What do we want next? The coal thumper might not be a bad idea now. Although coal mining, we don't have to do the coal thumper. We can go straight into just mining the coal. Extracts up to 240 coal per standard workday from underground deposits. That's a lot of coal. Does require a steam core though that we don't have right now, and we're not going to get until they bring the steam core back. Although that could be our next use of a steam core there. I'm kind of thinking... Ooh, I was going to say I'm kind of thinking bunkhouses, but I think before we do bunkhouses, I'm going to do scouts. I think getting a second scout team out there to find more stuff, to bring more stuff back, is going to be extremely useful for us. And also, we're wasting time here. Let's get more, let's get people in these workshops. I do wish to pull a few engineers out of the old medical bays. We've only got 7 people in them right now, so that's fine. And then we'll try and make these as efficient as possible. Cold homes. Captain, some of our people are concerned about the low temperatures in their homes. They quite sensibly point out that it's easy to fall ill when it's cold and ask you to address the problem. So this is the same thing that we had earlier. I'm not going to address this issue. Discontent can rise. You will thank me when the heating comes on in, just a few hours, when day 10 rolls around. Could we have 16 people not doing anything? Could we please... Yeah, there we go. I was going to say hurry up and build these new buildings. This gathering post doesn't have anybody on it. Let's assign 4 children and a few workers. I'm not too bothered about getting the coal just yet. We're kind of okay on coal. The heating is turned off. I'm aware. I know. You don't have to remind me. I'm fully aware. We do need to bear in mind, though, that we do need to assign people to these new locations as well. I would love 10 people pulling in a large amount of wood over here. I will turn the heating on there as well. And the same is true over here. I would like really as many people as possible working in that location. We do have a gathering post here that is fully staffed with children and that is currently doing nothing. So we'll pull all those children off it. We'll also take all of the workers off here. We'll put children there. That's fine. Children cannot work in these, though, which is a little annoying. We could sign the law, of course, that allows children to work everywhere. However, that's probably not going to go down particularly well with really anybody. So I think for now, maybe we'll pull like 1 or 2 people or 3 people away from that so we can have at least 5 at the steelworks. Obviously not going to be running at optimal efficiency. And actually, I guess we should pull people off the sawmill first, right? There's no reason to have people on both. Like, we obviously having them on both means we get wood even faster, but if we have enough people to fill one and not the other, we should fill the wall drill before we fill the sawmill. And then we'll put like the extra 3 over there. Yeah, that's fine. I would rather that the sawmill be a bit more inefficient than the steelworks. Nice. Okay, once again, we can speed things up here. We're about to hit -50, and so, guys, be prepared. I am going to turn the generator on momentarily, but before then, let's check the bridge to Winterhome. It has automation. Ooh, a functional automaton. We stopped at the edge of a deep, wide ravine, marveling at the steel bridge spanning it. Even more so at the huge automaton sweeping snow from the roadway. It would be possible to send the machine back to our city or dismantle it for resources. So we can either keep it and get 1 automaton, or we can dismantle it and we get 89 steel and 2 steam cores. I think I'm going to keep it, but the 2 steam cores are very intriguing. Let's keep it. The benefit of the automaton, and what have we got here? We've got a weather station and a large convoy. Let's do the loop. Let's stick with the original plan. We'll go to the gloomy cave and then back home. Maybe not the most efficient path because we have to unlock, like, they don't get the benefit of walking back if we do it this way because they have to go like in a straight line here and thus it takes longer, but that's fine. The benefit of the automaton is the automaton can work at some of our, buildings. Like I think it can work at like the wall drill here, and it can work all the time. It never has to take a break. It doesn't sleep at night. It just works all the time, always, which is real nice. Finding the bridge at Winterhome proved we were on the right track, but raised questions. Why was the bridge deserted? Why wasn't the automaton under the care of an engineer? There were logical explanations to it all, but people are growing anxious. We will find out in Winterhome. Okay, so people are getting a little, reasonably concerned that whoever, built that and maintained that automaton originally is no longer around, and that's probably going to happen to us. But never fear, I will keep us all alive. People are very hungry, but that's fine. We are cooking food. We're cooking 40 food per hour, which should be fine, I think, for now. I don't think there's any need to build a second hothouse, despite the fact that we do have ample child labor available for us. All of our workplaces are nice and warm, which is good. I will turn the heating on, guys, because it is, yeah, maybe I should. It's quite chilly in the middle. If I turn the heating on to level 1, does that make the workshops a little warmer? It's going to take a second to warm up here, but I know the ring doesn't quite go that far. I know the ring only covers this middle section, but I'm not quite sure how. No, so it just makes these chilly and not cold, which I guess is good. It might mean that we should probably do the range upgrade next, or the range research next, if we want to keep our number of ill down, which we, desperately do. More scouts researched. Nice. So do I want to go for the range upgrade? We could also go for the power upgrade. We'll do the range upgrade first, I think, to encompass like the second ring of people, especially now that we have houses there as well. You can see these ones are covered in snow, whereas these ones are lovely and warm. Then again, the bunkhouses, now that we're making such a large amount of both steel and wood, the bunkhouses seem very doable. Now, do we want to put another team together? We need at least 5 workers. Right now we have four workers, but they are all children. I think the answer is yes. So I'm going to pull 4 people off the sawmill, and I'm going to pull 1 person off of the steel mill, and we're going to put together another scout team. So let's head to the observatory. It's nice and close. Heading out over there. Beautiful. Can we do like even more? Let's have a look further down the tech tree here under exploration. Oh yeah, we can. Look at that. Right down under tier 4. We can get even more scouts. Outpost depot. We can get lighter scout sleds. Faster outpost teams. Okay. Outposts, I think, are going to be a good idea. I believe they allow us to kind of build, little mini cities in places that we find and then use those to produce resources to send back, I think. We could do with more people right now. That's for sure. Like being able to man all of these, vacant jobs right now would be very nice indeed. Food-wise, how are we doing? I guess we're just kind of passively gaining food. We could, if we wanted to, like, maximize efficiency, pull 1 or 2 people off of one of the hunters' huts, because that would bring us down. Right now we're slowly but surely gaining a stockpile of food. If we took 1 or 2 off, it would still be enough food, but we wouldn't be getting that stockpile. I think for now it makes sense to just keep it as is and slowly gain like a little stockpile. Request ignored. I mean, in fairness, maybe I should have just accepted the request because we're going to keep the generator on a little bit anyway, but that's fine. Hungry people were fed. Nice. Hope rises. Good, good, good. Everybody was fed in the time that I said they were going to be fed. Fantastic. We're still doing just fine on coal. We got 2 days worth of coal at current speeds. I believe we're unlocking the coal mine right now. Oh no, we're unlocking generator range upgrade. Did I unlock the coal mine? I didn't. But that's because of a lack of a core. Then again, a new core is coming. Scouts have reached the gloomy cave. Okay, Survivors. This is good news. Beset by beasts. We can hear terrified shrieks coming from a cave uphill. When we come closer, several polar bears turn towards us, blocking the entrance. There are people trapped inside, and these beasts are picking them off one by one and feasting on them. Leave the bears alone, the bears will kill the survivors, or risk attacking the bears, at which point we might lose some of our scouts, but we can get 18 engineers, 12 workers, and 4 children. We gotta do it, man. We gotta attack. We help the survivors. When our scouts attacked the bears, the people in the cave joined them, and together they were able to drive the beasts away, then all set out towards the city. Okay, so no option there to send them on their own. Everybody's going back together. That's fine. We're also 1 minute away from the next team reaching the observatory. Look at that. Is there more people? Survivors. Oh my goodness, here we go. Instead of astronomers, we were met by some of our lost people. They explained they came here for help, but found everybody dead. So we can escort them back, we can send them to the city, or we can leave the survivors to their fates. I'm going to take them. I think that's obviously going to increase our requirement for food, and it's obviously also going to increase our requirement for housing and all that kind of good stuff, but I think in the long run it makes more sense for us to have more people, at least right now. It does also kind of cement for me the idea that our next upgrade might be the bunkhouses. I don't think the bunkhouses can hold any more people. No, it's still just a dwelling for 10 people, but it's adequately protected from the weather. We do get like a house later on down the line, which I think can hold more people, but I could also be wrong about that. Maybe it's also just more installation. We do now have people who are not being treated, which is not great. Generator range upgrade ready. Okay. Now, in fairness, let's just turn these on. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to turn the generator off for now. And again, I'll turn it on in the evening. It seems like a waste to have it on during the day. There are a few children who will be at home. These 4 children might be getting ill at home, but for the most part, everybody is at work during the day. And all of our workplaces do currently have the heating on, even if they are still a little bit chilly, which is not ideal. Maybe we don't need the workshops on. We should definitely have the freaking medical posts on, though. Are you mad? But I was going to say, we could turn these off because that means they're chilly like everybody else. But at the same time, if our engineers get ill, then our research is done slower. And as I've mentioned numerous times in today's episode, I would very much so like for our research to continue to be a top priority for us. So we'll keep that going. We can fill up these medical posts with engineers when everyone gets back. We can also potentially even build more medical posts if needs be as well. How many people do we have coming here? We've got 34 and then 33. So we got 67 new people coming. Yikes. We need more houses. Fast. People, tents. Let's get these down, shall we? I think we did have a little bit of extra space there, so 40 some, but we're definitely going to need even more than this, which is a little awkward. I'm wondering if we should move we probably don't want to move the hospitals, right? Oh, this is a little awkward. I think we might actually, because we can fit more in here, I think, if we kind of redo some of the roads. Yeah, because you can still have the roads fit between the houses. So what we'll do is we'll dismantle like certain strips of road like this, and we can rebuild these in a second. People are gonna have to walk through the snow, but that's fine. They'll make do. So 1, 2, 3. Is that exactly the same as we had before? No, we've managed to fit like an extra 1 in, right? Before we had 4 in total, now we've got 5. And again, I think we can dismantle this one and maybe fit like an extra home in, which would be very nice, because getting 6 down here, I think, would pretty much completely cover everybody else. Can't quite get that last one in. Although, I'm going to move this, because as mentioned before, the Hunter's Hut doesn't really need to be warm, much like some of the other buildings we've had so far. It is fine being completely cold. Let's build some of these roads back, shall we? To connect everybody back up to the city again. Something like that should be fine. But yeah, we'll move that out to like over here with the other one. And this is kind of prime real estate for houses. We might even move the workshops, right? The engineers' workshops fairly soon. Okay, so 29 homeless people. Never fear. The homes are on the way. On top, oh my goodness, 63 homeless people. On top of that, speaking of homeless people, we food. We need to put down another hothouse here to replace the one we lost, and plus another one just to cover like the new influx of people who need food. So we might even need another one on top of that. Like 5 hothouses or hunters huts even is a lot, but it might be necessary. The good news is that all of these people who are currently homeless and obviously at the same time jobless can get some work done. I will turn the heater on real quick before by the heater I mean the generator, of course. I will turn this on before I look at this question mark. The heating is off. Never fear, it is now on. That will hopefully lower discontent and warm up people who are fairly nearby. We do also now have range settings. So right now it is on range setting 2. That does use more coal, but it is going to keep more people from getting ill. We do only have 22 hours of coal left though, which is not great. But research, what do we want to go for next? The bunkhouses cost 20 wood and 10 steel per house, but we did just receive a very large influx of wood. I'm going to go for it. I think there are people who will say that that is a waste and that we don't need it, but I think it might help us, especially given that our coal situation right now is becoming a little dire, just due to the fact that we've extended out the range, I think. So let's reconnect that so that we can get to this outpost. Homelessness-wise, we're at 13 people still homeless. That is fine. We've got space over here for at least... I need to delete this road, don't I, real quick. So tents. I'll build 2 more. And there we go. That should be everybody taken care of. We'll assign the maximum number of workers to our hunters' huts. Good stuff. Hopefully under economy, we're not quite gaining food. That's awkward. However, that could also be due to the fact that this is currently running at less than peak efficiency. There we go. People are going to eat. And now it's running at better efficiency. Still not getting there though, eh? I don't know if this accounts for the sick absences or not. Like this 160, I don't know if that's including or excluding these 3 sick people who are not at work today. Like come tomorrow, are those people going to start working again and is the number going to go up? Or do I need to build yet another hunter's hut and have, you know, 15, 30, 45, 60? We can't possibly have 75 people out of the 180 that we have working on food. Surely. All right, so we'll send somebody out to the large convoy. Can we send someone to the large convoy? You guys are just waiting? The Automaton's almost here. I don't have the option to send people. Oh, I do. I just have to select to which team. I don't want to go to the crash site. My thought being that people got a little bit on edge when we saw the Automaton. People might be more on edge if they see a crash site, or if they hear news of a crash site, right? I'm going to try and keep our people happy. The discontent is quite high right now, and I want to try and really lower that as much as possible. Our Automaton is here to save the day. I might put this on like the wall drill or our steelworks. I don't know if you can put it on the steelworks. Like, I don't think we can put it on the sawmill, but I think we can put it on the wall drill, if that makes sense. For example, if we go and take a look here. Yes, so the wall drill right now has 10 workers, but we can replace those 10 workers with an Automaton. Or you can also do it, you can do it pretty much anywhere, eh? Okay. My question is, does the Automaton produce more or less? It produced 9.6 per hour. These guys produce 16. So it does produce, I'm going to pause real quick. It does produce less, but it works 24 hours a day, right? So these guys only work 12 hours. And so because of the fact that the Automaton doesn't produce less than half, it produces more than half of what the humans produce. And because it runs double the amount of time, overall it will produce more. So I'm going to put the Automaton to work here. That frees up some workers. We can put some more on the steel mill. We can put some more over on the sawmill. We might have to move some of those fairly soon. We'll also put some more engineers on the medical posts and some more on the workshop as well. What do we have over here? Using automatons. Our first automaton is operational. This will help our economy greatly. Automatons can replace entire manual labor crews. They work around the clock with short breaks to refuel at the generator. We can research upgrades to raise their efficiency and capability. I see. Okay, that's fine. That's good. So you will come over and kind of use some coal every now and again, which we have a little low on right now, I'm not gonna lie. That's definitely something to worry about. We've not passed a law in quite some time. Is there a law we want to pass? We don't have to pass laws. And honestly, like, a lot of these are not super popular. Like emergency shift is unpopular because it means that we can, if we need to make people work longer. Child labor for everything is also unpopular. We could go for like cemetery or corpse disposal. Maybe cemetery. Hope will rise. But we'll have to build one. That's not too bad. Care house could also be useful. The gravely ill will be cared for. I don't think we have that many gravely ill because of the fact that we went with radical treatment. Triage is wildly unpopular. We'll be able to dedicate all our efforts to healing those who can recover quickly at the cost of sacrificing the more severely ill. New ability, you can use triage in a medical facility to instantly heal half of patients, but a quarter of patients will die instantly. Yeah, I think we'll hold off on that one until strictly necessary. I think both of these are also not desirable. The soup does give us more food, I believe, per ration. Or per raw food, more rations per raw food. But people don't like it as much. The same is true for food additives. So I think for both of those, we can hold off until we get into a bad situation. Really, a fighting arena is the only thing that's kind of good on all fronts. This just reduces discontent. You know what? I'm going to sign it. Boom. I will build a fighting arena for the people who want to just, you know, watch somebody have a fight on an evening. This is not adjacent to a street, but that's fine. We can build a street. You've had a hard day of work at the coal mine, you can come home and watch someone fight. That's fine. We can make that happen. I wonder if the fighters will abide by the rules. I mean, I guess we're going to make the rules, right? It's a new dawn. The fighting arena has been built. People are very happy about that, and hope rises, discontent falls. That's good. Temperature is about to drop or rise. The number's going to drop, but that indicates a rise in temperature, so that's good. We probably don't need these on. Like even without these on, this is still. We could probably leave those on. Keep our ill people warm, and we'll definitely leave that on to keep the children warm. But the workshops are fine without it. The hunters' huts don't need it. How are we doing on food? We're still not doing well on food. We could look at, we're doing bunkhouses, that's fine. Is there another, like, upgrade? Flying hunters and hunting tactics. Maybe we go for this next, drafting machines, and unlock tier 3. We do have a little bit of food stored up, and so we can go, and the amount of food that we're making is very close to enough. We're just 13 shy per day, so we do have like a few days worth of rations available. We can work through a few days with a deficit. That's fine. And so I think we might, and we'll go for the next upgrade. But in the meantime, I'm gonna put down even more workshops. I might be going too all in on science. We've already got 4. But the majority of the people we have right now who are not working are engineers. We've got 31 idle engineers. And so I'm kind of thinking, just build like 3 more workshops and get those engineers to work. Start really tanking through the research. Like a lot of our focus right now has been getting wood and steel, because wood and steel are the things we need to enable our, you know, engineers to get the research done. So really getting research done as fast as possible is part of my goal. So let's go ahead and assign 5 people to each of these. I don't know to what extent the diminishing returns like kicks in here. I think I will turn the heating on these buildings. Yeah, let's turn the generator off, guys. And let's leave all those off. That's fine, because it's quite warm now. The temperature has risen again, -30. Still not toasty by any stretch of the imagination, but still quite warm. I'm gonna leave all of these on. Bunkhouses are researched. Nice. We could turn these off now because all of these are livable. But I think given that we have 40 or just shy of 40 people ill, 20 of whom are not being seen, we should probably use the other portion of our surplus of engineers on another medical post, right? Given how many ill people there are. I guess we'll do 2. I don't really want to do 2, but I guess we'll do 2. And then let's unlock tier 3 drafting machines. All right. So we'll speed things up here. Hopefully the ill are healed fairly quickly. We're making a ton of wood. We might even have to build ourselves a resource depot fairly soon, because as you can see, we're getting close to full on wood. But then again, I think we can just, you know, use our wood to build the bunkhouses that we just unlocked. The automaton can't refuel. Sir, an automaton stopped working because it was unable to recharge itself from the generator or a steam hub. It has to do that twice daily in order to make it operational. You need to turn on the generator. Oh, I see. Oh. Oh. Okay. So the hub, the generator needs to be on for the automaton to recharge. I did not know that. That's new information. We could, first of all, let's put down some better houses. And we're going to start with the ones that are on the edge. People are going to be annoyed because these are the people that have just moved in. We also have an extremely large amount of homeless people now, but that's fine because they're currently getting a nice home upgrade. These are also the new people, right? So the people who have been here the longest are not getting an upgrade, but our research is being done incredibly fast. I love it. So hunting tactics and flying hunters. Hunters based here hunt every night, venturing beyond the city to track their prey from the air. They provide up to 30 raw food per day. And then hunting tactics, hunters' huts will employ fewer people, -5 workers. That seems very good. Assuming that they still produce the same amount of food. So what's the difference between the hunter's hangar, up to 30 food per day? Like how much do our current hunters produce? Up to 15. Oh, so it doubles. I mean, let's do it. I assume if we get this, we don't need this. This has got 2 food icons on it as well. Sure. I'm gonna go for the flying hut, and maybe we'll replace some of the huts we already have. Let's employ some engineers. Let's get some of these sick people, you know, into medical facilities. Maybe get some of the people from the other posts off the floor. You know the drill. I'll leave this on now. You know, it's overnight. We might as well let the people be warm in their homes, and the people in the workshops be just, you know, downright toasty. There are a few people homeless, but that's fine. They're about to be rehomed. So how warm are they? Are they like really warm? They are really warm. Look at that. They're comfortable. Oh. So I'm hoping that when this next temperature drop comes, like, we're kind of fine. Steel is our next kind of hurdle here. And so a new steelworks might be a bad idea. How many people do we have not working? 6 engineers and 6 regular people. You know what? Let's do it. Steelworks, boom. We'll hook that up to a path because the automaton is bringing home the wood. We're getting a lot of wood nice and fast. Hopefully they'll go build that now, overnight, or at the start of the next day, because it's already the end of the night. And because of that, I am going to turn off the generator, which is going to slowly cool down as people start to go to work. We might want to research a steam hub and put one of these steam hubs down over here near the wall drill, or maybe over here. Like, I don't know, we don't have anybody working here. Maybe we'll put the steam hub like over here, so the automaton can kind of wander over, recharge at the steam hub, as opposed to, you know, requiring us having the generator on all the time, and then work from there. Speaking of which, I can see him wandering over, so I'll turn the generator on temporarily. Hopefully our engineers will blitz through some research today. Let's assign the maximum number of people to the steelworks, start pulling in some more steel, and let's also start replacing some more of our regular houses. Again, we'll go with the ones on the edge. How much steel is it per bunkhouse? It's 10 steel per bunkhouse, so we can't. I'm going to hold off until we have more steel because 40 steel really isn't much at all. I will, however, build a resource depot because we are making wood at a staggering rate. So let's get a resource depot down. We'll put it down like right here next to the wall drill. And I believe with the resource depots, you do have to pick which resource you're going to store there. And so I guess we'll have this one be wood because we're starting to get kind of a laughably large amount of wood. We could always swap our automaton over to steel and have people work in the wall drill, but I think for now this is fine. We have unlocked the flying hunters research, which is good. So this requires 40 wood and 40 steel, so it is quite pricey and does kind of justify us not spending our steel mere moments ago. But it also begs the question of what we unlock next. I think steam hubs has to be it. I think right now we're wasting a lot of coal by having the generator on, you know, twice a day just for the automaton to refuel. So, especially with these new luscious bunkhouses that are keeping everybody nice and warm. I will turn these back on just because I feel like the medical posts should really never be cold. I think we're going to run out of coal or fill up on wood even before this gets built, just because there's not really anybody to build it today. Everyone's at work, which is fine. I guess we can unassign a few people from the sawmill and hopefully have them just kind of wander over and maybe build this. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Digging through the snow to get there. Because as you can see, this is full. The automaton is just kind of hanging out. Speaking of the automaton though, tech, steam hub. I think we're going to build it here. You have to build it on a path. We could build it here, but there's really only the sawmill. We could build it like here. so that we could turn it on to heat up the medical posts as opposed to heating each medical post individually, because the steam hub consumes 3 coal per hour. It's a bit of a shame that we built the bunkhouses here. We should have done them over here if we're going to put like a steam hub here, right? Can we get, are those all in? I think they are all in, right? Like if we do it here. Yeah, let's put it right there. It does mean that the automaton still has to walk quite a way to get to the steam hub, and it is quite close to the center of the generator as it is. But if we're going to leave this on basically 24/7, we might as well put it where we're already using coal, right? Like doing it this way means we can turn off all 4 medical posts, and thus overall we actually save 1 coal per day. Over at the large convoy though, we have yet more survivors. They sought winter home. This worries me. They didn't get a signal from winter home. Okay, so we can escort them to the city. No children, all workers, engineers and workers. Or we can leave them to their fate. Now, I think there is a balance to be made in this game as to how many people you take. Because obviously the more people you take, the more work you can get done. But at a certain point, there are so many people you have to feed and house and do all this other stuff to. I don't think we're there yet though. And so I'm going to escort these guys back to the city. Especially because we've got another scout team, you know, doing stuff as well. We don't have to worry too much about having just the one scout team constantly searching for new stuff. So that's fine. We'll escort them back. That's all good. This is getting built. I'm going to turn the other generators already off. Beautiful. I would like 300 more wood space, please. Thank you. We will turn this on 24 hours a day. Keep it on all the time. Requires the generator to be active. Oh, excuse me? I had no idea. Okay. Let's just have it on. Oh, you can see here 12 versus 6 coal per hour. I didn't realize that the steam hub required the generator to be on. In that case, I'm going to dismantle said steam hub. My bad. And in that case, we'll put it like over here somewhere. At that point, we might as well just not have a steam hub. You can just walk back to the generator, refuel, and head back to the sawmill. If anything, it's a little inefficient with this time, but I think compared to the coal that would normally be used, I think it's fine. We're a little low on steel. And by low on steel, we're not really low on steel, but like I want to replace some of our hunters' huts with flying hunters' huts, and the amount of extra steel needed there is more than we currently have. Weather station, coal and steam cores. Nice. Let's take a look. Grim forecasts. We found notes. They predicted the great coal is going to get much worse. What's more troubling is the observations ended abruptly months ago. There's also not a can of Spam, not even a crumb of bread left in the pantry. It's obviously they moved out for good. We got a steam core though, and we got some more coal. Send them to the coal mine. Yeah, let's do it. I would love even more coal. We're not doing great on coal right now. We could definitely do with some more. What we got over here? Abandoned station. The recent reports of the weather station has got people talking. They're frightened that such an important facility was apparently abandoned. Some are starting to wonder whether the evacuation from London was a good idea. A few are lamenting openly, I knew we shouldn't have come. At least London had real houses, no tents, and wooden shacks. Hope falls slightly. Guys, have you seen these new bunkhouses? People are living life large in the center of this town. However, research-wise, I'm thinking that we unlock whatever the next thing is in steel. Uses steam power to extract iron ore from deep deposits and process it quicker, delivering up to 70 steel per standard work day as opposed to 40, so not quite double. What was the difference between this? See, this was double from the sawmill to the wall drill. There's also a steam sawmill, which produces less. I don't know why we'd go for that over the wall drill. The wall drill just seems strictly better, but it might not be a bad idea to get this steam steelworks up and running. I assume it uses coal actively, the fact that it says steam powered, but I think we should do it simply because we need more steel, right? We also have the ability to pass yet another law if needs be. We do have some more interesting stuff up here. Again, everything down here is kind of still, you know, pass it as we need it kind of laws, whereas up here we have like a public house. Even in this harsh new world, people still need to raise their spirits after work in good company with a stiff drink in hand. Let's do it. I'll sign that. That's only upside. Hope rises. People love a drink. And I'm not about to deprive the people of what they want. We'll put it like right here. Beautiful. A pub will remind us of home. It will indeed. There are so many pubs in London. Too many, one might say. We do have extra workers. We're going to assign some of them to the sawmill, I guess. Food-wise, how are we doing? Are we actually gaining food now? We are ever so slightly gaining food. So, in reality, we don't have to put down any more of these, like, flying hunters just yet. We could do just a... Oh, look at this. Oh, my goodness. Those guys have... they've got the tech. They are advanced. But we could put down more just so we could, like, you know, get rid of one of the hunters' huts and free those people up to work elsewhere. But for now, we really just need to get this research going because, as you can see, steel is the thing that we are desperately lacking. And we're about to see another temperature drop. The last one wasn't quite as bad as I thought. It was only negative 40. So presumably this one is the negative 50 drop that I was expecting last time. Nobody is currently available to work at the public house. At least no workers. We can put 2 engineers on there though. That's fine. People are happy about that. It's already warm. That's fine. It's all good. Although that might be about to change fairly soon here. Steam Steelworks has been researched. Everything is happening all at once. A new scout team is done. More coal than we can use. That seems unlikely. This coal mine was in operation until very recently. The machinery isn't running now, but there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with it. Perhaps the mine simply extracted its quota or filled the loading bay. We could retrieve plenty of raw materials if we took the machinery apart. So only take the stored coal. We'll be able to restart the mine later. Or take everything. Oh my goodness. That's so much wood, so much steel, so much coal, and 2 extra steam cores. Again though, like the Automaton, I think we're going to get 343 coal either way. We're already making a good amount of wood and steel. The cores are good, but I think going forward it's only going to get colder, and coal is only going to become more and more of an issue. So I'm going to only take the stored coal and progress on. I don't want to go to Winterhome because the bridge is broken and everywhere around it is deserted. So come on back, guys. Bring the coal back. We're obviously gonna have to go there at some point, but I get the feeling the bad things are afoot. Now, research. Before I do that, let me schedule the building of some steam steelworks if we can. We'll do 2 of them. Why not? Get as much steel as is humanly possible. And then what is the next bit of research that I want to unlock? We could make our sawmill more efficient, although it seems somewhat unnecessary, given the fact that we have this big old, wall drill. Improved heaters. They raise the temperature of workplaces by 2 level, but they consume more. Not ideal. By using new, lighter sled designs, scouts will now move 50% faster. That could be useful. Outpost depots. Allows the building of outpost depots. This seems useful. And maybe something we should work towards. There's also the factory, a plant where automatons and other highly advanced devices can be produced. That seems good. I'm going to hold off on picking anything just because we don't have enough steel for any of it right now. We need more steel. We need this stuff to be built. The scouts have returned. We have homeless people. I really want to do like is there like a nice quick and easy bit of research that just requires wood? Because we could get that done fast. There is. We'll do this one. Like, why not? They do it. Look how fast it's going. It's going so incredibly fast. These are now online, which is beautiful. They're producing a good amount of coal. And by coal, I mean steel, of course. It doesn't say that they use coal. So maybe they don't. Although I would be highly surprised if that was the case. It doesn't say it does, though. How are we doing? Let me look at the economy here. So, wood. I want to look at the graph. Yeah, look at that. Our wood production is like an all-time high. Wood gain and wood use. Our wood use is low, our wood gain is high. I like it. Steel, slightly different situation. You can see the projected steel is, this is the estimation. This is what we actually got. Our steel use is high. Our steel production is hopefully going to be high very soon, which is very nice. Food-wise, we're looking good. Food ration use is about to skyrocket because we've got new people. So we probably do need to get another flying hunter's hut down. But before then, cold homes. You'll have to start heating 2 of the cold homes within 2 days, then keep them heated for 2 days. I'm not going to address this issue right now. If your home is cold, I'm sorry, but the cooling and heating of homes is done entirely at my discretion. So we have to send an outpost team here to build an outpost. An outpost can be set up here delivering an estimated 800 coal every day. All right, let's go to the crash site. It's nearby. It might end badly for us, but we'll see what happens. Things are about to get cold. 800 coal per day is insanity. In 19 hours, we're going to get a nice influx of coal anyway, so that's all good. How is everyone doing temperature-wise? Everyone's kind of fine. These guys are very cold, or chilly at least out here, which is not ideal. I would like to, if possible, kind of upgrade some of these guys to bunkhouses. And in fact, given that it's free time, I'm going to do that. Bunkhouses. We can only build 2 right now. But that only leaves, 20 people who are chilly. Everyone else is comfortable at least, which is good. This hunter's hut is incredibly warm. Everybody who's chilly, just go and sleep in the hunter's hut overnight. Don't sleep in your tents. It's unnecessary. There's a warmer place out there. We do have new workers now, though, so we can employ people at the public house. Not the most, high priority job that we have available to us, but not bad either. What else do we have here? We've got coal deposits, which I get the feeling are probably not going to be necessary, given that we can set up an outpost and bring in 800 coal per day. That seems insane. Getting another, we could get another wall drill going, but we don't need that much more wood. What we need is more steel. And unfortunately, I don't think there's anywhere else that we can put like a steel mill. We only have the one patch of iron. And so until we get, more research done, I don't really think there's much we can do in the way of getting more steel than what we've got right now. And that does leave 52 people without a job. It's quite possible we shouldn't have taken them. Like maybe those 52 people weren't necessary. Speaking of those 52 people though, there are homeless people right now, which is raising discontent, which is not ideal. Unfortunately, how many do we have? 52. I'm thinking about dismantling and remantling these workshops. Again, I don't think they need to be so close to the generator. So you know what? Let's dismantle these 4. We will, of course, rebuild them over here. 1, as soon as we get the resources to do so, that is, which will be any second now. 2, 3, and give it a second. There we go. And 4. I do love that people are out at 3 a.m. building this stuff. And then for now, we're gonna have to build tents for the new people. Excuse me. Oh, again, there's I think this is an issue where we can fix it by deleting a street. I kind of wish it wasn't like this. It's really weird because you can build streets between houses. Like I can delete that road, and then I can put a tent like here. There's still not enough space there, but it did free up an extra tile, and then you can still put the street back down anyway. It's really weird. It does make, I guess, a thinner street, but still, it's a little odd and also annoying. So let's tear this down. That allows us to put another tent fairly close. Actually, 2 new tents fairly close by. So that's what, 3 new tents that we managed to get down? And then I guess from there, we'll just do 2 more. Not ideal, especially given that they are just tents and thus quite cold. But for now, I'd rather people have somewhere to sleep than nowhere to sleep, right? And speaking of sleep, my goodness, this episode has gone on very long. And so I'm going to go ahead and hit pause there. We're at day 15. Things are going pretty well, I think. We're about to hit... actually, I'll hit play just because I think we're about to see like a drop to -50. You know what? No, I'm going to pause. I'm going to assign people to work on these. Come back next episode to find out how low the temperature can go and whether or not we can continue to survive and hopefully thrive in these harsh, icy conditions. But we'll come back. We will continue to expand. We'll hopefully get more research done. We will hopefully get a coal generator online. One of the next bits of research that I would like to do is getting this outpost depot ready, putting down an outpost at the coal mine and starting to bring in just a massive amount of coal that should allow us to hopefully kick that generator up, heat everybody up, give everybody a better house, and just keep going, keep getting more resources, and hopefully survive forever. But for now, as always, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video and you want to see more Frostpunk in the future, go ahead and hit that like button. It really does help out a lot. Leave a comment down below, subscribe if you're new here to get notified as soon as new videos go out. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.